Hello, everyone. If you don't know who I am, my name is Alex Alberti, and I am the Director of Instrumental Music here at Longleaf School of the Arts. And I am very excited to welcome Cee Cee Huffman today. Cee Cee is a graduate of Longleaf School of the Arts, and she has graciously given us her time today to talk about her career and her journey into her lifelong artistry. So without further ado, I am excited to welcome Cee Cee Huffman. So please give her your attention.
Hello, Mr. Alberti. Thank you. First of all, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I know 5:30 on a Monday is a tough time to want to do anything other than nothing at all. So thanks for showing up. But I'm Cee Cee Huffman. So I am a social media person. I do podcasting, I do digital media, and we're just going to kind of talk about all those different things and how I got there. So right now, I'm the associate producer and content strategist at Earfluence Media. It's a really fancy way of saying I record and edit podcast episodes and do social media. And we do social media and podcasts for businesses in the Raleigh area. And then I'm also the co-founder and COO of Looks Attached, which is a digital magazine that we'll talk about later too. But I was once like you. I graduated from Longleaf School of the Arts in 2016. I was a part of the first class to ever graduate from Longleaf. Back when I was there, this is what the logo looked like. So they've definitely upgraded since I left. But after that, I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and I studied broadcast and electronic media journalism and public policy and dramatic art. So I graduated in May, so my career is very short, but we're going to talk about what I've done so far and mostly how I got there. So I've done art my entire life in some way, shape, or form. These pictures are pretty embarrassing, but they're from when I was younger and I was singing or dancing or doing theater. Like
Hey,
I started dance.
Your screen is not shared.
Oh, shoot.
So I was like, oh, there are pictures?
Oh, let's back it up.
Oh,
Okay, here we go.
you.
Take two. So this is what I do now. We've been there. This is what the logo looked like. So you can see it. It really is a massive upgrade. And then I've been an artist my entire life. So I started dance when I was 2. I started theater when I was like 6 or 7. I started piano when I was 5. And I knew that whatever I ended up doing, I wanted to be creative in some way, shape, or form. But I never thought I was the best at any of those things. So I never thought that I could actually do anything creative because I wasn't, I don't know, Beyonce. Yeah, like I couldn't sing like the best in the room or dance better than anyone else. So I was kind of worried about being successful in any of these fields because I didn't really know how to do it. So when I was in high school, I started the Flying Squirrel News, which I don't think y'all do anymore, and that's okay. But we didn't really have any way to put information out to all 200 of us. And so I started this YouTube channel where once a week I would sit by myself and kind of read off the emails that the principal had sent me and tell everybody what was going on in school for the week. And that kind of made me realize that I really liked the news. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll do that instead. Like that can be my creative career. I can write, I can, I thought I was going to anchor the news, which obviously is not my thing. It's not going to happen. But back then, that's what I kind of found that I really wanted to do. Ended up deciding I did not like TV news. It's really stressful. You have to do a lot of things by yourself and I don't want to focus the camera and worry about the audio at the same time. So I ended up doing radio journalism. So like the kind of things that you hear on NPR. And so that's me ducked behind a table to listen to this woman's story about Stagville Plantation in Durham, which actually, if you know Cameron Village, named after a guy who owned like over 1,000 slaves in a 47-acre plantation. A lot of people don't know about it. So I realized that I really liked that. And then I kind of felt like I wasn't very creative in that space though. So I really liked doing the feature-y type of news. So like telling stories like that, but not like what happened today, which is very important, but it wasn't my favorite thing to do. So then I ended up joining this group called Carolina Social Influencers, which is a terrible name, but we helped the university make social media content. And one day they wanted somebody to do a makeup tutorial where they painted themselves blue and white for the Duke game. And nobody wanted to do it because it's kind of awkward for your friends to watch you do that when you're in college. You're still kind of worried about people judging you. But I was like, I'll do it. So they came to my house and we filmed this video. and it ended up doing really well. It got like 30,000 views across platforms or something like that. And it got me a job. So then I started doing social media. I was an intern for the university, and I got to make all types of other content. I wrote tweets all day long. I made videos interviewing students on campus. And then this video that I have here on the right was me saying goodbye to all my favorite places at school because there was nothing we could do because I graduated in a pandemic. So I walked around the campus and said goodbye. And that video got like 50,000 views. And I really, really loved it. And I found that I really liked just making content and just telling stories. So that's kind of at the core of everything that I've done my entire life. Like I've danced a story, I've sung a story, I've played a story, I've written a story. I love stories. And that's just kind of what I realized is my art. And it took me a long time for me to get there because the mediums that I was doing it in, I didn't necessarily think I was the best at. But what I've realized is that's the part of art that I really, really loved. But at the same time, I still kind of missed being creative and being around a bunch of creative people, because when you work in an office, it's very easy to still kind of get down and not be surrounded by the kind of creativity like y'all are surrounded with every day at school. So this is where Looks Attached comes in. Last December, my friend and I had this idea for a digital magazine because we've been around friends who've been in some digital magazines or just magazines in general, and they didn't get a lot of say in what they wanted to do. And I think people should be able to make whatever they want and show it to everyone. And so that's kind of what Looks Attached is. So it's a digital magazine for arts, entertainment, and culture. And we do photo shoots or rooms. It's supposed to be like a digital art gallery. And every room has print content, photos, videos, quizzes, like all these different things that are threaded together by one central theme. And so these are some of our most recent shoots. If you want to follow us, we're at Looks Attached everywhere. You can check out the website. But to show you that the friends that you make at Longleaf will stick with you forever, she went to Longleaf, and this was shot by somebody who went to Longleaf. So the connections that you make, you can take that art with you forever. But now I have this space where I can help people make whatever they want, show it off to everyone. And we also feature local artists or artists anywhere because we're on the internet. So the whole world is local at that point. So if you ever want your art feature, you have an idea for something, let me know. I'd love to feature it because that's what I love to do. So moral of the story, boil it down to a couple points. Art is everywhere. You can always find a way to make any career that you want or have artistic just by being yourself and being creative in it. And if you can't find what you're looking for, make it. So that's what I've done with Looks Attached. And I really love it. I love reading people's work. I love sharing people's stories. And if you want to share anything with me, you can email me at cc@looksattached.com, or you can follow me on social media and DM me. I'm at Cee Cee Huffman everywhere. So that's my presentation. Sorry, I forgot to turn the screen share on.
It is totally. So yeah, let's, there's some awesome questions we can ask and get some more insight from you. So talk to us a little more about the process of creating your outlet, because I'm sure there are people here who think that like taking on the role of like making a brand new anything is just overwhelming, and it's essentially kind of a business. So, what were kind of the steps you took, and like how did you motivate yourself to create something brand new like your publication?
Yeah, so it is a business. We're an LLC, like we're a business. And it honestly didn't feel that hard because I knew that it was something that I really wanted to do. And I knew it was something that needed to exist and it needed to happen. And, people always say like, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And so like, yeah, I work 40 hours a week and then do this on top of that. So I spend pretty much all day long working or thinking about work, but I love it. And so the process to do it, though, we came up with the idea in December. We were supposed to launch in March. Obviously, that didn't happen. We built a website, kind of figured out what our process was going to be, asked all of our creative friends, like, hey, what do you like to do? Do you want to do that for us? We can't give you anything in return except exposure and our gratitude. But if you want to come and help us, like, come join us. So we have like a team of 25 people that we work with. And we have a meeting every week where we all just kind of come up with concepts and talk about it. And I mean, it's like one big group project. Like it sounds a lot harder than I think it has felt, because I really enjoy doing it. And I don't know. I think you just got to do it. Like if it's something you want to do, just do it. The hardest part is like coming up with the trademark the other day, all the legal jargon. That was the most difficult part of the entire thing.
I believe that. Um,
Yeah.
what advice do you have for students going to college to get them more involved outside of the classroom? So once they've enrolled in classes, like what are some tips you have for kids to make themselves more marketable for when they graduate and to kind of enrich them for their job hunt?
Right. I'd say talk to everyone. Like I know that's a lot easier said than done. I'm a pretty outgoing person. Normally my problem is not talking, but talk to everyone, because you never know how when you might meet somebody and you can find a connection that will serve you longer, and try everything. Like the amount of clubs that I went to the first day of and was like, this sucks. I don't want to stay here. And the amount of clubs that I went, I was like, this is awesome. Like, and I'll do this forever. So just try it. Like try anything once, because you never know what you'll find that you didn't necessarily think you would. Like I auditioned for improv. I didn't make it, but I met some of my closest friends throughout all of college. And so like if you just try, you really can't lose. It feels like you can, but if you just try, you really can't lose.
I love that perspective. Excellent. So yeah, I'm going to invite our attendees. They can feel free to turn their cameras on, and this is the time when I would like any students who have questions for Cee Cee to go ahead and share those. So please feel free to turn your camera on and ask any question you may have for her.
Yeah, ask me anything. What's Kiki? Hi, Sophie.
Hello, current senior here. For one, do you have any funny stories from your time at Longleaf? Because I mean, I was still in middle school when you graduated, so you found to get something.
My entire time at Longleaf was one big funny story, to be quite honest with you. We were the first class, so everything was an experience. Everything in our old building was always broken. Like the heat broke.
Yeah,
we
I
had
heard stories.
water crisis. We were out of school for like 2 weeks. We just went on a million field trips. It was a very interesting place.
Yeah, I've heard stories of that building, and their stories, all right.
Yes, definitely.
And unless are you continuing or
No, go ahead.
do you have any tips for like marketing? Because if you're gonna make a business, you gotta get yourself out there, right? So
Right.
how do you do that?
I think something big that I wish I had started sooner, honestly, is establishing a personal brand. So like in college, they make you build a website for yourself just so you can practice building a website. In Mijo school, they do. And that honestly has served me more than anything else than I did in college, was just having to build this one-off website because they didn't know what else to tell me to build a website about. And that kind of became a hub for all of my stuff. Don't look at it now because I'm rebranding and it does not look very good, but I could put anything that I made there. If I ever wanted to just write a blog, I could put a blog on my website. And one of my classes I took called The Branding of Me, they made us, establish a personal brand, and we had a vlog or podcast or whatever, like once a week, just for our homework. And I think that there's a lot of value in that, and kind of figuring out who you are and how you want to present yourself, because the more that you do that, the more comfortable you become with yourself, the more confident you become with yourself, the easier it is to do that all the time, every day. So I think, like I said, talk to people all the time, and then just kind of establish your own kind of personal brand. Pick some good colors, stuff like that.
I've learned is that maybe I should have actually made that website they were trying to have us make an advisory last year.
Yes, you should. You should. There's some things where, like, looking back on it, I remember thinking that, why are they trying to get me to do this? This is a waste of my time. And then looking back, I was like, wow, they were really right, huh? That's exactly what I should have been doing.
Yeah, it's just like, you think it's busy work because the other class is in lunch, but nope.
No, it's actually good for you. Yeah, of course.
Excellent. Yeah. What other questions do we have? That was really awesome, Cee Cee and Sophie. What other questions?
Thanks. I'll answer anything or nothing.
Would you tell us a little bit about when you talk about developing a brand for either yourself
Right.
or for a creative endeavor? What does that entail?
Well, well, this is going to get kind of not psychological, but it almost kind of is kind of figuring out who you are. What do you stand for? So I was coming up with mine, I was like, okay, what are 3 things that I definitely am? So I'm a content creator, I'm a storyteller, I'm a Tar Heel. That became my whole branding. I was like, all right, so that's my thing that tells everybody what I like and what I do. Obviously, I'm not a very serious person, so I don't have a very serious brand. It's like yellow and green and blue and orange and bright, very like stars, colors, things like that. Because I mean, I gave you a black and white presentation, but that's the first black and white presentation I've ever made. So like, think about who you are and what you like and how you can show that to other people in a really compelling way. And it's almost, I think about it like decorating a bedroom. Like, what's your bedroom look like? What do you like in there? What does it say about you? And how can you put that somewhere so other people can see it? Because rooms like that, I mean, they're very personal, and you can take aspects of it and build a whole brand off of it as well. So
That's an excellent analogy. I think that's,
thank you.
yeah. Any other questions from our audience?
I know a lot about like when you're talking about media and content creating. I know that a lot of like hosts of these podcasts and other forms of media like develop a persona. Would you say that'd be good or bad to like help with just like getting out there? And
yeah, I mean, it really depends on who you are. I think that we all kind of have a little bit of a persona depending on who we're talking to. Like, I'm not going to talk to, you know, my grandma the same way I'm going to talk to my friend. I'm going to be a little bit different in both of those situations. So if it helps you, then sure. I think for me personally, my brand is to kind of be as open and honest as possible. So I'm just kind of exactly what I am. But I know like JoJo Siwa doesn't look like that every day. Like, she has a brand and she's doing great. She's in Walmart. She's everywhere. She's killing it. So, I mean, it depends on person to person. If you think that would make it easier for you to put yourself out there, then definitely do it. But I mean, there are aspects to that all the time. So it kind of depends. Did I answer your question?
Yes, very much so.
Good.
Other questions from our students or community members?
No one else is going to ask anything. Favorite color?
Oh, my favorite color. I honestly don't even know if I can answer that question. That might be the one that you stump me with. It changes every day. I think right now it's orange.
High quality color.
Thank you.
Cee Cee, this is Sabrina Francis. You may remember me.
Yes, I do. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I just want to say congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Just to see how you've grown and what you've done. Congratulations, and keep up the good and hard work.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, she knew me back when I was at Longleaf, so I've definitely come a long way since then. You think high school is end all be all? It's not. There's so much more afterwards.
There's much, much, much more. And you're just discovering it. I can't wait to see where you go to from here.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was actually just saying in the chat, I don't know if you saw it, but the person you were interviewing in that one picture, I actually went to high school with her, and I took a bunch of classes with her. Vera.
See, the world is so small. She was lovely.
Yeah.
Everything's connected. So, I mean, the world is much bigger than high school, but only so much bigger because everyone still knows each other.
All the connections you make matter, I think, is the important part.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the amount of people that I interact with, like, that I never thought I would ever see again, that have had such like a big part in my life. And like the fact that I made this one-off video, that video where I painted myself white and blue quite literally started my career. How stupid is that? But it did. And if I hadn't just decided, you know what, nobody's going to do it, I'll do it, I wouldn't be here. It's just that simple. So every connection that you make, every decision you make, it has a big effect and you don't realize it in the moment.
I think that's a huge, very important takeaway from all of this is seizing opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
One of the things that completely changed my career and my focus was in college, just writing a proposal for a research conference on a whim, like just one day. And it completely changed the way now that I teach and approach my life, like, and embracing research, like just from an impulse decision. So
right.
really echo what you're saying. And I think that's so important for our students to hear is when there's an opportunity, if you have any remote interest and you think it could kickstart a passion or you've always wanted to do it because you never know what it will lead to.
Absolutely. I applied for that group on a Google form at 2 a.m. and then ended up making that video and then ended up getting a job. Like like I said, try anything once. And if you hate it, that's fine. Don't do it anymore. But you might slip and fall into something that you absolutely love that makes everything else you do better. It's just that easy.
1,000%. Any last questions from our audience?
Thanks for coming, everyone. Oh, thanks, Mr. Pay. Yeah, check out our website. Really, I'm not kidding. And if somebody wants their art featured, please let me know because we are doing a series where we feature artists and we would love to feature some of y'all. It would be fun to feature people from my high school.
Take advantage of that, everybody.
Yes.
Well, excellent. So, Cee Cee, thank you so much for today. Everyone is very grateful for the knowledge you shared and for the passion you hopefully inspire in our students. Yeah, and if there's no more, then we will sign off and I hope everyone has a great night.
Yes, thanks for coming, everyone.